Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Brendan. I'm here with John.
Hello.
John says hi.
You know
um,
my oh
you first. You.
yeah, I was gonna tell you my wife she doesn't she has a problem with stairs. Doesn't trust them. She thinks they're always up to something.
Goddamn stairs.
Yeah, that was. I shouldn't have interrupted you for that. It wasn't worth it. Please
How many?
start the show.
Has it? How many tickles is too many tickles?
That's not the joke.
That's not the joke.
No, no, no. I know it's a fun fact.
What
You
is
probably
that?
don't know this.
No,
No, no,
no,
no.
no.
Well, it's strange but true that octopuses can laugh. They've done experiments. You know how you make an octopus laugh?
Oh no,
You have to tickle it. You know how many tickles it takes to make an octopus laugh?
no.
10. 10 tickles. Did I improve on it? Is it better?
Better.
It's good. You really got me with that one. I that would tickled me.
10 times.
Yeah.
Tickled 10 times. Cool. We're here today because I want to talk about motivation. And that is that's something that I think a lot of people, well, okay, often in the personal growth, spiritual development, I don't know. People just talk about motivation. I need motivation, or what's your motivation, and I'm not motivated, and are they motivated, and I need to motivate them. And I got gripes with that.
Gripes.
Gripes, which means we need more research. So we're going to start with definitions.
Motivation. What is it?
Motivation.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. Motivation, the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. The general desire or willingness of someone to do something.
Reasons, desire, and willingness.
So the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. The reason. Now, if you look up reason, so are you writing those down?
I sure am.
Oh, look at that. See, we're getting fancy. Now, if we define reason as this is as defined by the dictionary. Now, as we know here in consciousness land, words are only pointing to a distinction. So if we say somebody has motivation, somebody might be referencing a different distinction with the same word. They might have motivation as something else. That's why I'm starting with the dictionary so we can have like a common ground. But I imagine that probably people are not necessarily talking about what I just defined, a reason for doing something, a willingness to do
Yeah,
something.
when people are talking about motivation, I think, and they're saying, I don't have any motivation, aren't they usually talking about a feeling?
Yeah. You see, so we need to get clear. Once again, clarity comes into play. Yeah, like I don't feel like doing it, which probably is what it is, a feeling. So what they're saying is they're talking about a feeling of unwillingness. We'll get back to that, I'm sure. The definition of, oh, I accidentally did the definition of definition.
Sweet. What
Define
is it?
reason. Oh, I don't. A reason, as defined by the dictionary, is a cause, explanation, or justification for an action or event. A cause, or an explanation, or a justification
A reason is a reason. Those are all synonymous with reason. I would say like reason is if you're talking about a reason for doing something, then it's always a to verb something. To verb. It's going to be to verb, in order to verb, and then maybe to verb something.
Well,
Like why do you teach Cheng Shin? Why are you building a house?
to have a house.
To have. Why are you teaching Cheng Shin?
Yeah, have, I don't know.
And to have
Grow
a
people.
house, to grow people, like, and each one of those is going to come down to, like, you're going to say, well, why are you doing that? It's going to be another to verb, to verb, to verb, until you get to some kind of like base need.
And
And the
then
need,
it could also be like to make money or to I have a gaping hole in my soul and I think somehow teaching will fix me.
to fix you.
To fix me.
Yeah,
But
it's going to be to verb something.
okay. Okay. And so what do people mean when they say motivation?
I think they
My
mean feelings. I think they feel like desire, like, yeah, energy, probably energy,
I'm
probably
feeling yeah, go ahead.
probably energy to do it without a lot of competing energy to do something else, like energy plus like clarity, something like that. I think it would be like from a like a neurochemical perspective, it would be like what do you call that, the M word, where is it? Oh god, uh what do we say? We associate it with motivation all the time, and I'm forgetting the name of it, and I feel very
What
embarrassed.
what because
It's
I
like
was lost on the phone
epinephrine,
looking for
or yeah, like that. What's
a
the
chemical?
motivation? Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
It's a.
with it starts with an M?
I think so, and it's not melatonin because that makes you go to sleep. It's not dopamine. Dopamine. That's the one.
It does
People are
not start
looking.
with the letter M, but
It has an
yeah,
M in there, and
dopamine.
that's what was going on in
Ah,
my brain.
dopamine.
And dopamine, and it's what I mean is dopamine. D is what I meant, and dopamine. Anyway, dopamine is the neurotransmitter associated with desire for movement and
Yeah,
change. And
yeah.
it's not necessary for movement and change, but it's associated with desire for movement and change. And there's another one that I forget, that is several others. And Andrew Huberman, everybody go look at Andrew Huberman. You'll learn all about this shit better than I
Yeah.
can tell you clearly. But there are neurotransmitters that are associated with motivation. And there you go. They're feelings, and they're chemical.
Right. Now, my gripes with this motivation stuff, or my gripes with my assessment of when I hear others, look at others, hear them talk, hear them think about motivation, one of my gripes is it comes down to it looks like with people's arguments, they go, "Oh, I don't feel motivated," as if it's out of their control, or "Oh, I don't feel a dopamine hit," as if the chemicals in their brain are out of their control, which I can hear that argument firing off right away. Well, it is out of your control. The chemicals just happen. I'm like, yeah, but how do the chemicals happen?
Well, that's a
I
complex process of chemical reaction, Brent.
right, and it's out of your control. So that means that you can't self motivate. Now, as far as I can tell, people who really excel, they do shit in spite of their feelings. Is that a true statement? I would say yes. That means that motivation as a feeling is really a bullshit story that people tell themselves and they use it like an excuse to not do something. And I want to take a stand for, if you want power in your life, I mean, not you, the general you, if people want power, they can't stand on some story about motivation as a feeling that's out of their control, because then what? It's a feeling, it's out of your control, and it means that you cannot do XYZ, which is a false statement. It's just not true, because you can do X, Y, and Z no matter how you feel. That's just true. So to say otherwise would be like a lie or dishonest in a sense. So that's why I wanted to bring up motivation to do some damage to the lies, the they're not lies like bad, but it's just dishonest. You're not owning up to the fact that you can take action if you hold motivation like that.
Have you heard people talking about motivation as a prerequisite for action?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like, but it comes across like this, but how do I get motivated? I usually put the word but in there, which again sets off one of my pet peeves, because like, yeah, but, or yeah, but what if I'm not motivated? Or yeah, but how do I get motivated? As if they need motivation to do.
Hmm.
And like, you do. Skip the motivation part. Go do. Yeah, but then shut up and don't do. Like, I'm black and white it, make it two options. Yeah, but
Do or do not.
do or do not.
There's no try.
So that's all. That's why I called this meeting today. I wanted to do some damage to motivation in that sense. So, is there anything, what else can we say about motivation that may be of service to our listeners?
Good habits. I'm always going to be one for good habits. Make sure you're getting good sleep. Make sure you're getting sunlight. Make sure you're getting exercise. Make sure that you're engaging in healthy relationships if you can, and maybe none of these things are prerequisites, but they all help. Like the like motivation may not be necessary for action, and I'm not entirely sure that that's 100% true. Like if someone is like actually has a severe problem generating certain chemicals in their brain, uh I don't know, like I don't know how that actually works, but but these things do help, like, and the feeling does help. So go ahead and do some things that will help, like get up at the same time every day, get some sunlight in the morning, drink plenty of water, do the basic stuff that will help you feel
Yeah.
generally clear and motivated. If you're not doing those things, yeah, you may struggle more than you have to. Why do that?
Yeah, or maybe, yeah, I'm a fan of consequences. So, like, it sounds like John is pushing in a direction of, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's like be healthy, essentially, is what you're saying.
Pretty much, yeah. And like, what is be healthy? Well, I'm no expert, but how about start with adequate sleep, rest, some exercise,
Yeah.
spending time with friends and family, getting outside, being in nature.
Yeah. And from my perspective, to add to that, I'm a fan of consequences. Like, if you do those things, you will experience better health, and that generally is a better experience as a human being. So if you want health, go do healthy shit.
Yeah. And
And
if you
then
want
and
more
then you
motivation, those things will probably help, not hurt, in
sure,
the realm of
yeah. If you
motivation.
want if you
The
want to
feeling
accomplish
of
things.
motivation.
Yeah, like a good feeling, a feeling of well-being. I have also, from time to time, experienced feelings of joy and happiness that are not circumstantially derived. And that's a way better experience than the normal shit. And what I mean by that is I might be in a bad mood, but I'm happy. I might be hating something or hurt feelings, but I'm happy.
Okay.
Like, oh, I'm hurt and I'm happy. That's a whole different level of
Yeah. And that, to me,
experience.
when you say that, don't you have, when you say
It's like I'm
that,
already complete or something.
Well, I don't know what that means, but wouldn't you say that you have a capacity to um, look at your own experience objectively more than, say, most people?
Yeah.
And doesn't that help you choose sometimes to do things when your experience is going, ah, and then you can look at your experience and go, holy shit, that wow. Like you can look underneath and
Yeah.
have a relationship to the experience that's objective, and within that you might find, joy or something like that.
Yep.
So wouldn't people learning how to question themselves help
Yeah.
with getting objective so that they can act more free from their emotions, including ones of motivation?
Yes. By God,
I mean,
it
just
would.
logically following a bouncing ball
I wish
there.
I wish there was a place where people could do that seriously
Is
and
there one
really.
though?
I heard of a place.
Hmm.
I heard of a place in Texas. Did you know that? There's one
Tell
in
us
Texas.
more.
It's in the middle of fucking nowhere, Texas, in the hill country, and these guys are out there and they do these workshops
Ah,
where people can come and question the nature of reality and their own experience in a major way, not like a belief system, but in a very serious way.
yeah. When are the next set of workshops that someone could come and do?
Well, if this place actually existed, the oh well, by the time I post this, okay, in the month of October.
There we go.
If you
Yeah.
navigate to my website and look, you can go find them and find information. It'll send you over to Ralston's website, and there's information there. Go navigate. So now we just made up a set of connections to consciousness work, and it is true that because I am more conscious, I have a greater depth of understanding of my mind and my experience and how it works. Because of that depth of understanding, I have certain capacities that other people don't have. Like maybe, hey, instead of being on the shit end of the stick with your emotions, how about choosing an emotion? You don't feel motivated? How about switching your feelings around as an act of will or dropping negative feelings? Like these all sound very valuable things, sound like very valuable things. And there does seem to be a connection, although we made up the connection. The benefits are the byproduct of doing the work. The work is the main thing. This is like a big trap I want people to avoid, but they won't avoid it. They'll come for the value. And
It's
yes,
gonna be what motivates them.
it's true. It's true. They think Chang Chen will fix them or get them the thing that they finally desire. Now it might do that, but you have to do it. And there's no easy way. That's why it's called a workshop. I crack that joke at workshops a lot, and people are sick and tired of it, I'm sure. Or not.
Hmm.
It's hard work. So what's my point here? Yeah, that's the motivation. So my point is, or what I want to do is help people get over the idea that they need motivation. You don't. You can simply take action. That's the other side of it. You may have a feeling of not motivated, but it just doesn't matter. It's did you take the action or not? Like,
Isn't there some YouTube guy that you listen to that you've asked me to? You sent a video or two of his. He's like an ex-military guy. He does all this basic dude stuff. That guy.
oh, Pat
Ba-
McNamara?
Yeah. And I think I remember seeing him say he did a video where he said he had a chemical problem that reduced in his brain his ability to create dopamine or some other
Oh, maybe. Okay.
yeah, neurotransmitter or something. And so he had problems with that, and yet he's a guy who gets shit done.
Yeah, he does stuff.
And I think it's however he does it, he does it. Or like, this is an maybe just an analogy. I remember like one time I was doing an obstacle course and I had to complete the damn thing, and um my my leg, the back of my leg cramped up so bad that I couldn't use the muscles in that leg, in the
Yeah.
back of the leg.
Yeah.
And I had to finish the obstacle, and I was in the middle of the obstacle. I was like 15 feet off the ground and carrying heavy
Hanging.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I had to learn right then and there how to access other muscles in my body and use them to
Yeah.
finish and get the job done.
Yeah.
And it's like, you might not have the chemicals that you want, but that doesn't mean that you can't do that thing.
Like
Like, you're
that.
actually far more resourceful being than, just relying on that one little feeling that you think you need at this
Like that.
particular moment. You might start doing the thing and find that 5 minutes into it, you all of a sudden have the motivation to do it.
Yeah. Or I've been in at least one situation, couple, where I didn't think I could continue.
Mm,
And I pushed and broke through a wall that I didn't know I had. And all this extra energy instantly there.
mm.
Like the human body and mind can be pretty tough, and I don't, and because I've had that, I think that's useful to get that kind of awareness of one's own capacity. I think that helps motivate.
All around
It
the
helps
world.
with yeah, just knowing you can do things. Like there's more than what this just what's at face value. There's a lot more than what's just at face value.
Yeah.
There's a lot more available. And sometimes it might not feel like that, but the truth is there is.
Women give birth for the first time in their lives all around the world, outside of Western countries, without epidurals. You know, they go through these processes that are very physically demanding. And you would say that I think most of the time they're not like, I don't know if I have the motivation. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, you do it. You do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not feeling motivated. Well, in that case, also, it's tough. Your body's doing a thing, whether you like it or not.
So anyway,
You're
okay. So I
going.
kind of get why you're talking about that.
Mm.
I had some questions for
Yeah,
you.
what you got?
Would you describe for people the journey that led you to become directly conscious of your true nature?
Yeah, good. The story.
Yeah, can we have a story?
Sure. Sit down, children. We'll gather around. Yeah, I mean, but I'm running this one through filters real quick. I'm like, I don't know, because
Why
all
would
right,
you run it through filters?
because I don't know if the story will serve other people. My goal is for if somebody is wanting to be directly conscious, my intent, if you're interacting with me about that, I want you to become directly conscious as soon as possible, like now. I don't want you to waste any time. I don't want you to fuck around. If we're talking about direct consciousness, this enlightenment shit, I want you to become enlightened immediately. Yeah, but I have to go through 20 years of shut the fuck up.
But I
Yeah,
need
but I don't know.
motivation.
Yeah, but I need him shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. No, 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 no. You don't need motivation. It's already true. So now, if you are going to listen to my story and make some shit up that is going to wrap your mind in a certain direction that is going to disserve you,
Hmm.
that's on you. Okay?
So maybe we should skip the story because people will attempt to emulate the story
or
or
what,
ignore the story or
or just like make it into a thing. And that's my hesitation. Like you asked about why I hesitate. It's like that's why. That's
I'm
my
just curious
motivation for
for the fun
hesitating.
of it. I I'm just curious what you went through,
Yeah,
You
but we
know.
can talk basically, I mean, I met Ralston when I was 17. So I was young, I was in high school, I was going through typical rebel shit. I was not happy. I was not a happy camper. I was depressed, blah, 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 high school. And I was looking for something. And so the way that I remember as if, and the way I hold the world, I said, okay, universe, give me something. I opened up like, all right, I'm in a shitty place. What's up? I'm looking for something.
So you were consciously open. Were you? Did you literally have like a thought in your mind, like, all right, I'm open
Like
for
that.
something
Yeah, I mean
better, like
I did
to a
that.
source outside of
Outside of me, I
outside of you.
intentionally said, "Okay, universe, to the universe.
Hmm.
I need something. Show me. Whatever." Now, and
Yep.
then I was with a Tai Chi Qigong teacher, and he said, "Do you want to come do a workshop with this guy Peter Ralston in New York?" And I said, "Fuck it, yeah, I'm not doing anything else. Let's go." So I went, and then that's where I first saw Peter when I was in Rochester, New York. I was 17 years old. Maybe I can, maybe I can do you guys a favor and pull up the picture of There's a group picture that sort of. I'm the tall, skinny, goofy-looking fucker in the back with like big hair, and I think it was like a tan shirt. If I pull it up, the picture's kind of blurry, but I can show you if it's still up online. And then I saw Peter for the first time, and the way the guy moved, the way he spoke, he was really articulate, he was smart, he could move really well. The shit he was saying, I was like, damn, there's something going on here. And then something else about this person that I noticed, which later on come to find out is probably all of the consciousness work, the stuff, the mind work, because he has a very different mind than most people. I didn't know that at the time. I just, to me, my young ass brain was like, oh, there's something there. And I said, okay, I'll do that. Like, I want to do that. So I wanted something from him, wanted. And then that's it. I just said, all right, I'm going to study. And so from there, I was in martial arts. I didn't care about consciousness work. I didn't give a shit about any of that stuff. I just did workshops, and then he opened up an apprenticeship program, and then in 2004 I did my first martial arts apprenticeship, which is like 7.5, you did one of those 7.5 months, 8 to 10 hours a day training, 6 days a week, 5 hours on Sunday, something like that, for 7 months. Did that, and then every year it was either a 7-month program or a 3-month program. So in 2004 I did an apprenticeship, then I did another one in 2006, then I did one in 2008, 2010, and then the first consciousness apprenticeship program was in 2011.
Yeah,
And
and then it was alternating martial and consciousness for a while,
after
right?
that, yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, and that's not even 2020, and then there was more. And at this point I was less involved in my own training, and then more involved. Now it's more like the apprentices are here, but I'm involved, but I'm not doing all the work they're doing. So, but I still live on site, and I skipped over a bunch of stuff. But getting to your direct consciousness moment, it was during the 2011 consciousness apprenticeship program. And, I was like 28 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I, at this point, I am now into consciousness work a lot more because of going through training martial, not really giving a shit about it. But then I started to make these breakthroughs. I started to have insights, and I would, wait a minute. Like, I did contemplation intensives, many of them. And there's a power to this work. The consciousness work is really freeing, and I don't do it for the freedom. I do it for the understanding. It just so happens that the breakthroughs are freeing. It's like, holy shit, right? And then I was in this apprenticeship program and just, Peter wasn't even here because he was off teaching. And I just threw myself into wanting to know what I am. I mean, as you know, you've done contemplation intensives, the drill. And I just went as hard as I could, wanting to know. And I was not even working on my question. I was working on a totally different question when I had my breakthrough. I had an enlightenment experience. I was working on, like, what is awareness? And I suddenly grasped what I am in the midst of this, just, huh? And the first words out of my mouth were, I am awareness. But you see, now you fuckers don't do anything fucked up with that. That's just what I said. Okay. The reality of
He's
what
telling you the secret answers.
the secrets. I just don't want to not serve you. I want you to get it for yourself, because fuck. That's the only reason I go down these angry roads, or these roads of, like, trying to shut you down, you the listeners, because I want you to get it. And I know that you'll make shit up. So don't. And I want you to get it quickly. Anyway, I just keep wanting to serve people or whatever for that reason, in that regard. But yeah, and that's essentially my journey. And then that instant, nothing changed, and my entire life changed in an instant. And yeah, changed my whole fucking life right away.
Yeah, I remember talking to other people around that time who knew you, and we agreed you became substantially less of an asshole after that point.
Yeah.
Like, we all noticed.
Yeah.
It was nice. Still is.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and I do look at pictures, like old pictures, say, like, I've got old driver's license, and I look at my face, I look at the mind that's there, and I'm like, oh god damn, fuck. God. I'm not saying enlightenment changes the mind, but it perhaps gives one the capacity to change their mind better.
Some of those changes could happen fast, especially if you're doing
Totally.
a lot of work on yourself.
Yeah, like huge leaps in mind. Yeah, so that's basically the story, and I think one of the maybe the lessons I get from that is, like, I cannot, because of the way enlightenment or being directly conscious works, I cannot say with certainty that there is no cause and effect relationship, because cause and effect exists in a relative world and enlightenment doesn't, or the absolute nature of things is not relative. So there is no effect and there's no cause. And yet I tried like hell. I got so tired of the shit I was in, and I was contemplating every day, and I just got tired of it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting this. Not I'm going to get this later. I'm getting this now. And I put, Deadpool, maximum effort. Right? And that's one thing. And so when people are sort of half-assing their contemplation, I look at them, I'm like, I don't think that's the way to go. It doesn't matter. And yet, maybe it matters. It's like, go for it. And two, I was going to do it. Ralston's gone. I don't give a shit about Ralston. I don't give a shit about other people in the room. I don't give a shit about whether I'm going to continue in the future, in a sense. Like, I'm just all of I don't give a shit. I just want to know what's true now. Which is to say, and now is actually so fast that it's before you can think, or before sounds take time to travel through space. Your brain takes a split microsecond to make meaning out of the sounds. So now is actually before what you see and hear, because light takes time. I use that as like a motivator.
That immediate.
Like, yeah, it's like fucking now, which for my brain is yesterday. Like not what I'm seeing now, but prior to. It's like what is
Hmm.
before you see.
Yeah, you realize you've been seeing
Right, right, right. It's like, oh, but even a split second after the fact.
it.
And so I got really now, and then also wide open. That's the other, like, I don't know what I am. I could be fucking anything. And then that, and then times a million. And I think that makes a difference. And it doesn't make a difference.
Mm.
So that's those are some of the things that I went through prior to, you know. And so, yeah, there you go.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it.
How would you define consciousness?
I mean, a simple answer. It's just what is. That's all.
So is this glass on my hand consciousness?
It's just whatever that is. It is. And yes,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm not. I can see how the glass is consciousness. I am not conscious of that. So, like, I can. As Peter's been going on about, and it makes sense, and I can also parrot this from my own experience. People confuse consciousness with awareness. Like they confuse consciousness with either being awake and conscious, like my body is not unconscious, or I'm aware of something, ergo conscious of something. And consciousness is not that. Like I wish there were a better word. Like we don't have, people might be better served if they had a word that they had no idea what it meant, like jiggy jiggy puff or something like that.
You need to jiggy jiggy puff it.
You need to just jiggy jiggy puff or snarf blat, but that comes from the Little Mermaid, or a word that just has no or something. You see, like, because it's just about what is. What is really here. If I'm going to get conscious of what I am, as you know, am I like what's really here that I am? People, well, I'm my job. No, that's something you're doing. Well, are you your body? Well, no, that's something I have. Like I'm not my body. I have a body, right? Don't we talk like that? Are you your thoughts? No, that's something you think. Are you a feeling? No, that's something you feel. Now, what are you? And then the mind goes, I can't do that. And we're like, yeah, your mind is limited to relative stuff. Like what you are is what you are prior to birth and after death,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Can you do that with your mind? Can you get that with your mind? Well, no, your mind isn't up to the task. Can you feel that? Well, no, feelings aren't up to the task. Well, then what do you do? Well, that option that handles that, we call that becoming conscious, not becoming aware.
It's yeah.
What were you going to say?
That it's like do you have the does this make sense to you? Um this is going to sound crazy to some people probably. John is not conscious. I am. John's not. like
Definitely crazy.
like John yeah,
No.
totally. Like John didn't have an enlightenment experience. I did. I was always here. And John still hasn't had one. John is along for the ride, so to speak.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, but you're already you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all the stuff you do is what you do.
Yeah. And and then at the end of the day, for people listening, it's like if you want like that, you may agree or disagree with what's being said, and that's fine, and none of that matters. If you want to grasp these things, you have to grasp them for yourself. And again, that effort, we call that becoming conscious. Like, and what is that? As John was asking me about the definition, it's just grasping what is. That's all. You don't have to go anywhere for that because it's already true. It's available right here, right now. It's just our minds are not equipped for that. Now, mind may be useful, like intellect may be useful in pointing in a direction, but ultimately you can't do that with your mind. Yet you can become conscious. It's like that's a possibility within the existence of things. Yeah. And Peter's even been taking it a step further where he said, he's been saying stuff like, I thought I was conscious. He's like, wait a minute. He's like, don't you, when you get conscious, isn't it always you becoming conscious? Oh, okay, yeah. As if there's a you there getting conscious?
No. The realization doesn't like belong to me, to John.
Yeah.
No, it can't.
It's not personal.
Can't.
It's
It's
not
impossible.
personal. It's business.
Yeah.
It can't be, yeah, because it's not personal. Like there's no person, no, non-relative. At which
It's
point, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Uh, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. Fascinating. I mean, mind-blowing, freeing. And to bring it back, I noticed bringing it back in a sense to our conversation before about, if people become conscious, isn't it true they have more capacity with their mind, or you know talking about having feelings and changing feelings or having more power as a human being. Does consciousness give people more power? No. But perhaps it gives them the capacity to look into things and understand power better, or understand the creation of power. Or if I have negative emotions, I become conscious of the real source of those negative emotions and grasp what their nature is. That's the becoming conscious part. Like, what is it? And then when I discover what it is, I go, whoa, that's what it is. And then maybe I change it because I understand it in that way. When I say understanding, I mean, and most people are, the more conscious I become, the more I notice that most people, their level of ignorance is high, which is to say they have no idea what's going on in their mind or why or what it is. And so they're operating within an automatic structure that runs automatically. A lot of the stuff in people's experience is incredibly automatic, and they don't question it. They just think, like, bringing it way back, oh, I need motivation to do stuff, with no questioning what is motivation, what is its nature, do you actually need it to do stuff, what is action, where do things get done in reality. We don't question these things usually. And I think that's the power of becoming conscious, is the questioning part. The grasping what things are. That's the purpose of consciousness work, is to grasp what things are. What you do with those things once they're grasped is totally up to you. You live your life the way you live your life. We ain't selling a lifestyle here, as if. We're not selling a way to live. We're not selling health or power. We're not selling an effective life. Unless you're an apprentice, then we are. You know, we boot camp some people, try to turn them into solid, powerful people. But yeah. So get conscious of things. Discover it. You don't need a workshop for that. I mean, they help immensely. Don't get me wrong, but like where else are we? Yeah, this work, this incredibly powerful work, you can do it right where you are because it is where you are.
And when you come to a workshop, you'll be where you are.
You'll be exactly where you are, and I will tell people, where do you think you're going to go? To some ashram on Pluto? Oh, you come to a workshop in Texas.
You already came to it.
You already came to it. Well, you might as well
close enough.
It's far enough away. Don't worry. If you need to get out, you can walk to a main road, so don't worry about it. You cult people out there.
Yeah.
Worried about a cult. No, if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. Go away. How's about that?
Let's see. Oh, we're getting,
how you doing?
think,
do you need to
yeah, well, I want to ask you more questions, but I think that's all I've got time for today.
Cool. Well, you heard it here first. That's all John has time for today.
I feel like an asshole, dude. John.
parting words for this podcast. I found an Instagram post because we've been working a bit on suffering and getting over suffering. Peter's got a new book, Ending Unnecessary Suffering, which comes out spring next year. Plug, check it out. But it's all essentially stop it, right? Stop your negative emotions. And there was this. Now I don't know if this video was staged. If it was staged, fuck it. But if not, this young man who's in a military uniform is freaking out, and this old guy has got him grabbed by the scruff. The guy's freaking out. He's like, I wanted it, like looks like he's really freaking out. It looks real, And the old man, he said, "Those feelings, you want those feelings?" And the kid's like, "They're thoughts. He's like, "Those thoughts are not you, and they're not your friend. What do you want? You like that feeling, or you want to let it go? Do you like that feeling? No. You got to let it go. You can't have both. You can do one or the other. That's it." I was like, this guy knows. And he said,
"Where was that?"
It was on Instagram.
No, I mean but where was the thing that happened?
Like location wise?
Yeah. Was it a military thing?
I mean, he was in a military. It looked like a military dude freaking out.
No, but the old man, the guy who was gripping him by the scruff.
I don't know the history, but he looked like he was good in terms of like he knew what to do. Let me see, where's this link? Here it is. I'll WhatsApp it to you. Looked like they might have been on a military base or at somebody's house, but I think there are other military guys there, so probably on a base. But the old man was not in uniform. He says, "Your feelings that's not you, and it's not your friend." And then he also says, God, no, WhatsApp, Brendan, WhatsApp. He says, do I love you? Yes. Do you love me? Yes. Now I need you to love you. Oh, hit me right in the heart. You can see him like talking the kid down, but he's like, the old man knows something. It sends your WhatsApp. The old man knows something about the feelings. So you say, let it go. You can't. Those thoughts are not you, and they're not your friend. That's where that shit comes from.
Our culture, we're taught to, in a lot of people's culture these days, we're taught to glorify feelings, make them kind of paramount.
Yeah. But those shitty ones, like, and yeah. I also war with the idea of you need 20 years of therapy. It's like, no, you don't. Stop thinking that shit, the feelings will go away. And then that becomes challenging because some of those feelings are ridiculously strong and we are ignorant of the real source. Now enter consciousness work. Get conscious of what's really going on. It is a thought. The reason those feelings are there is because of what you're doing with your mind. Stop doing that with your mind, and they're gone. It's just most of the time we have no idea what we're doing with our mind. We don't know what the fuck's happening. We're ignorant. I wish there were a place where people could get less ignorant of shit like that, you know? If
Me
only.
too. If only.
I think I heard of a place. It's here. Come here and do a workshop, but not to end your shit unless you want to do the ending suffering workshop, in which case, yes.
The come and end your shit workshop.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful with that.
Yeah. Did I say end your shit?
Yeah.
I meant end your suffering. Yeah, end the shit in your mind that has you suffering. You will not. So anyway, that's my closing remarks there. Watch that video.
Will do.
I thought it was great. I might be seeing you soon, so
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
yeah, sounds good. If for some reason you can make it over to Holland, come on over.
Do my best. See
Yeah.
what happens. Well, I'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, and
Talk to
I
the
think
missus.
I'm gonna get my phone working over in Europe, so I'm sure we can text. Plus, there's internet everywhere, and
Yep.
I'll touch base with you. So cool, man.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Right on. Ciao.
See ya.